I have number 1 here. Now we are, where's my calculator? We are in a paper 2. I'm not going to be a superhero. This is a calculator question. So you definitely can use your calculator. Um, if if somebody wants an explanation as to how you would do something like this on a calculator, let me know, because I'm just gonna run it through real quick. But you would want to type in, like some people would type in 1 minus and then please use brackets in your calculator. Them brackets in your calculator is real help, Dread. It is real help. So you could use the brackets. It have this little button here and it have like a with a B over C. That's for my calculator. This is your fraction button. So 1, you press that, and then 30, and you will get 1. On the calculator, it'll look like this, which is the fraction, right? The problem is 1 over 30, then you would have to press plus, and then you would have to press 4, over 15. And who knows if the calculator might add the 30 and the 4. Sometimes things just happen, you never really be sure. So you always want to give a calculator less work to do. So I would have immediately noticed, well, this is 15. So I could find an equivalent fraction here if I multiply by 2 over 2. That means that 1 minus, this will be 1 over 30 plus 8 over 30. So this is really 1 minus 9 over 30. And now I could use my calculator. I don't want to hurt my head so early in the game, right? So 1 minus, I'll even use brackets, 9 over 30. And I got 7 on 10. So yeah, you can use your calculator, but you don't want to go from here to the answer. You never want to do that. Do not go from here, even though you can use your calculator. Do not just put equals 7 over 10. You know why? Because look, it have 2 marks here. So that means they want to see something. Yeah, they want to see something. They want to see some understanding. So you had to look at the marks, Trent. Look at the marks, right? 2 marks, you don't want to go to your answer. You wouldn't get your marks. That's the whole point. Where's the sense in playing through Mario if you're not collecting the coins, right? You have to go for the highest score, right? So, any questions, please stop me if you have any questions. A 2-story car park has a total of 1020 parking spaces. So I'll put my total on the side. Observe how I read a question. I just read it in pieces because I kind of dotish now. I just had to handle things in a little bit, At 6:30 one morning, 1/30th of the parking spaces were filled. All right. So at 6:30, 1/30th, and thankfully it's a calculator thing. So 1 over 30 multiplied by that is 34. So we have 34 parking spaces there. All right. During the next hour, no cars left, but another 4/15th of this. So not the remaining, A lot of people might want to, minus the, no, 4 over 15 of this. So we have 4 over 15 of this. Now, if you notice, these are the same fractions from the question before. So you could say that this plus this is 9 over 30, right? If you remember the question before. So 4 over 15 multiplied by 1020 is 272. And this is at 7:30. All right. Determine the number of parking spaces that are not filled at 7:30. Well, at 7:30, we have this just now. No cars were left. No cars left. So from the 34, no cars left. So we have the 34. But another. So this 272 doesn't include the 34. So we have to add it. Right? So 272 plus 34 is 306. So we have 306 there, And all of this should really go here, by the way. I shouldn't write it on the side. I'll write it here. So now we could see that 306 is the amount that we have here. So that means that will give us 714. Of the 1020 parking spaces, 20% are on the top level. How many park? All right, so it's a percentage question. They want 20% of 1020. Nip, 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 nip. And that'll give us 2. Yes, I am using a calculator for this because right now my brain not, I'm not feeling very well and all that. 204. Yeah. And remember, I am a human being. You guys do know that I just make errors and mistakes. So if anybody see anything, shout it out, right? We're going through our past paper here now. Exciting stuff. All in excited. I excited. Right?
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have to put like 204 parking spaces or just the 204?
That's a great question. I would say that you should be a good student and put 204 parking spaces. I would say so. And right now I could barely write. That's to tell you how messed up I am, right? I'm actually quite messed up right now. So excuse my writing. Let me be a good teacher. But yeah, I would say be a good student and put that. I would say so. Absolutely. Yeah. And parking spaces. And I will try to be a better teacher as well and do it. However, if you didn't do it, you would not have lost the mark. Is this they want to see? Right? And not to mention the question asked how many parking spaces, and so the answer would obviously mean parking spaces. Right? So if you didn't put this, you wouldn't lose anything. Some of these spaces are reserved for monthly paying customers. The ratio of reserved spaces to non-reserved spaces, so we have reserve to non-reserved, right? R to N, and that is 5 to 7, right? So that means that 5 and 7 is 12. So that means that 5/12 are reserved and 7/12 is non-reserved, right? So calculate the number of non-reserve. So the number of non-reserve will be, and for anybody who don't know how I get the 12, add the 5 and the 7. So that gave us the total 12. So that means 5 out of the 12 would be reserved and 7 out of the 12 would be non-reserved, right? So they want non-reserved, so they want 7/12 of some of the parking spaces are reserved for monthly payments. All right, so that is the total is 1020. I guess that'll have to be it. 595. And this is an interesting question. In many ways, I guess this because usually at this point in time they would be going into consumer arithmetic. So this is sort of your consumer arithmetic question, right? The cost for parking at the car park is as shown in the table. So we have 30 minutes, blah, blah, blah. More than from 30 to, all right, so we have from under 30. This is 30 to 2 hours. All right, I'll put it on this side, 30 to 2 hours. This is 2 to 4. This is 4 to 8. Why they don't just do like 24 off, like $10 an hour like normal people? 8 to 24, and you have your 1 week ticket. Anyways, Michaela leaves the car park at 18:30 hours and pays this amount. Determine the earliest time. So if she paid that amount, that means that the maximum amount of time she could have been there was 8 hours. If she paid that amount from the table, right? So if the maximum amount of time that she's there would have been 8 hours, then 18:30, that is when she was there. And this is military 24-hour clock, by the way. 18:30 is actually the time. 18:30 is when she reached there. That's 6:30 in the evening, essentially. So what is the earliest time that she could have arrived at the car park? If she spent a maximum of 8 hours, then 8 hours before would have been 10:30. So the earliest time that she would have arrived at the car park would have been 10:30 a.m. Right? So 10:30 a.m. You spend 8 hours, 6:30 in the evening, because this is p.m. You know how to put a.m. and p.m. with military time though, but the answer would be 10:30, right? You could do the maths and say -8. Of course, it's just 1 mark, so this should be good enough. Dan Raj bought a weekly ticket for $40. That week, he visited the car park 5 different times. The length of time he parked his car on each occasion is given below. All right, so I see there. Show that Dan Raj saved that amount by buying a weekly ticket. So let me see this here. So 25 minutes means that this was free. 7.5 hours would have been $9.25. 11 hours would have been 15. This would have been 15. This would have been 15. So if he was paying the normal fee, and I'll be a good teacher and actually write it out. So normal fee would have been 0 plus 9.25 plus 3 by 15. And let me know if I'm wrong here. 54.25. If you get a different answer, or if you think I make a mistake, please let me know. Maybe I did. 9.25 for the 8 hours. What do you mean, Anya? Come on, get on the mic. Get on the mic and let me know. 9.25 for the 8 hours? You mean for here? Oh, up to 8 hours. Interesting. Oh, yes, this is more than. Thank you. Look at that mistake I made. Oh, great. Yeah, thank you very much, Anya. Yeah, look, check this mistake. Check this mistake. And this is a cool mistake. This is a cool one, right? More than 4 hours and up to 8 hours. So up to 8 hours means that this wouldn't be 15. This will be 9.25. I watch 8 hours here and I put 15 here. But no, I watch, yeah, so, but this is more than. So you see, little English, right? So let me do that over. And let me see, Zara, yep, Zara got that. I'm pretty sure it'll be that, Zara. So it'll be 15 plus 9.25. Thank you very much. So that's 9.25 by 2. So yeah, we didn't prove anything though. Show that Dan Raj saved $8.50. So therefore, amount saved would imply the hourly minus the weekly, which will be the 48.50 minus the 8.50, which is $40. No, why minus the 40? Sorry. Right. So we have to simplify this. And notice in here we have some squares. And notice in here the top have some things that could factorize as well. So I will have x here being common at the top. So I'll pull x on the outside, and then I'll have x in the inside plus 7. And if you multiply that out, you'll get that, right? And if anybody doesn't understand, please let me know. You can hit my private message if there's anything, right? X squared minus 49. Well, I noticed that 49 is 7 squared. So this is x squared minus 7 squared. I noticed this is a difference of 2 squares. So we will have x over x plus 7. And for a difference of 2 squares, a squared minus b squared will factorize to give you a plus b into a minus b. That means that this will cancel with this, and all you'll have left is x all over x minus 7. Find value of r. This is a, what you call it, laws of indices question. It's very small though. So x squared times x to the power of 6 is x to the power of r. When we are multiplying, we add. So 2 plus 6, you add the indices. These are your laws of indices, and that will be equal to r. Therefore, r is 6 and 2 is 8. Another indices question. When s cubed is 8, what is s? Well, what we will do is we will take 8 and try to express it as a cube. And I notice if I take 2 and I cube it, 2 2s are 4, 2s are 8. And so therefore, s would have to be 2, because s cubed is 2 cubed. So we finally going through our past paper here. We saw the first, and you'll see all of the past papers is the same, man. The first 2 questions, the first one is always arithmetic and then consumer arithmetic. The second one, and even going into the third one, they always go into, algebra. Those are your factorizing. This was some easy factorizing here though. Yeah, that was some pretty easy factorizing. Usually it's harder, but they went a little more laws of indices here. And then, number 3, or going into number 3, is where we started going to geometry, right? The diagrams below show a triangle and a quadrilateral. All angles are in degrees and are written in terms of A and or B. So I could see that, and everybody in degrees, right? For the triangle, show that 2A plus 5B is equal to 171, all right? For the triangle, 2A plus 5B is equal to 171. Well, angles in a triangle, remember, in a triangle, total angles are 180 degrees, right? In a triangle. And in a quadrilateral, the total angles are 360 degrees, right? So these here have to add up to give you 180. So we could try that, right? So A plus 2B, we have that angle, plus A plus 9 plus 3B is 180. A plus A is 2A. 2B plus 3B is 5B. And then we have plus 9 is 180. Therefore, 2A plus 5B is equal to 180 minus 9. So therefore, 2A plus 5B is 171. For the quadrilateral, show that, and it'll be exactly. So you see, this entire thing is just really testing to see if you could remember how much, degrees are there, right? So same kind of thing, I guess. 6A plus 3A plus 2B. So I'm adding up all of the angles, plus 3B minus 2A plus 18 plus 3B. So adding up all of these angles, they're supposed to give you 360 degrees. So let's add the A's. 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. And yeah, we have 7A. Now we add the B's. 2 plus 3 is 5. 6, 7, 8 plus 8B. And then we have a 18 here, plus 18 is equal to 360, right? Therefore, 7A plus 8B is equal to 360 minus 18. Therefore, 7A plus 3B equals, 8B Yeah, 8b equals 342. What you'll find is that the harder the question, the easier the solution, right? Solve the pair of simultaneous equations in 1 and 2 to find the values of a and b. Wow, well, look at that. All right. For the triangle, so it is 2a plus 5b is 171. And you know what? Let me write it on this side so I'll have a little more room. And then 7a plus 8b is equal to 342. We have equation 1 and equation 2. Substitution or elimination? What do you think? I like substitution, so substitution is my strong point. So I'm going to say from 1. From equation 1, a is equal to 171 minus 5b all over 2. Right? Into. Let me see if this will cause me headaches, right? Oh my God, this will cause me headaches because then I'll have a 7 on the outside and a 2. Oh, geed. All right. Anybody seen like an easy way to do this? Because I think I might be overthinking here. Is there an easier way? Zara, is there an easier way? Yeah, I guess, yeah. It's just, I was thinking to do that, but it was just I will be dealing with huge numbers. But you know what? It might actually be easier than, dealing with huge numbers might be easier than doing the substitution. Yeah, so let's do that. Multiply this by 7 and multiply this by 2 just to get rid of the a's. So 7 2s are 14a. Plus 7 5s are 35b, and 7 times 171 is 1197. Right. Yeah. Everybody seemed to have lost. Everybody seemed to have done the elimination. So yeah, this is great. And then 7 2s are 14a. Plus 8 2s are 16b. And that'll give us 342 times 2. Let me know when I'm going wrong, eh? This is a B. 684. So I could minus it. So this gone, and I will get 35 minus 16 is 19B. And on this side, I'll have 510. And therefore, B is going to be 5. Thank you for talking me into elimination, because substitution would be a real pain. Yeah? Divided by 9. What? 510 divided by 19. And you can see how even my writing, right now I am a bit messed up. So sorry about that, guys. So this is 19. Let me try to be a better teacher. 513. So B is equal to 513 divided by 19, which is 27. That's a little better. All right? And therefore, sub B is 27 in 1. So 2A plus 5 times 27 is 171. 2A is 171 minus 5 times 27, which is 36. And A is 36 divided by 2, which is what? 16? No, 18, yes, something around there. Somewhere around there. Any questions on this very sloppy piece of simultaneous equations here? And you see, definitely doing substitution would have been poor decision making on my part. So thank you, Isaiah, for talking me out of that. Even though, I mean, you would have gotten the same answer. It would have just been right? A triangle ABC AC is that, BC is that. Using a ruler and compass only, construct the triangle ABC. So this is a constructions question, right? The line AB has been drawn for you. Interesting. All right. So ABC, where AC and BC. So this is AB. So AC is 8 centimeters and BC is 5 centimeters. Now this is just the sketch. This is what you want. They didn't give you any angles. You're not really constructing any angles, right? So what I'll do is I'll have to construct this using this over here. Resources, come on, constructions tool. So I'll construct it. Now the problem, just to show you how to construct it, the problem here though is that I will not know the length, what they had here for AB. Did they give you a length for AB? ABC, no. So this AB, I don't know this length. And because I don't know this length, means that it is going to affect this angle, right? If I draw this shorter or longer, it will affect these angles. So you see here, measure and state the value of BAC, which is this angle here. So this question, I probably wouldn't be able to do this for you all. I'll show you how to do it from my triangle, but because I'm not actually using this line, I had to go and draw my own line, right? Means that I wouldn't get the same angle that you would get. So I'll just show you how to do the construction, and then you tell me what angle you got, right? So first I'll just draw this line AB, and I think you know what? I think I'll draw it a little shorter than that, maybe. I don't know. Nah, I think that was good. I'll keep it like that. Yeah, about that. All right, so this is AB. Now what they want is they want this here A, this is C. So AC had to be 8, and this side here had to be 5. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my compass and I'm gonna measure the 8. Thank God they didn't say more than that, yes, because right. And I'm gonna go from the point A, and what I'll do is I will draw an arc, and any line along that arc from point A will be 8 centimeters. Then I'm gonna come here again and I'm gonna measure my 5 centimeters. That's about 5, right? And I'm gonna come from point B, and you see I have a little squiggly there. Forget about that. And then I'm gonna draw that arc. And so any line along that arc would be 5 centimeters. And so therefore, the point where they meet is where you would have from A to this point here, that would be 8. And then from B to that point there, that would be 5. So you would have your 8 cm here and your 5 cm here. Apart from this, they're not looking for this, no, but they will be looking for this. You know, those, yeah, they want to see that. Now, they asked for this angle in this crap, come on, for realsies. Right. In this triangle, it would be about 35 degrees. Yeah, in this triangle, using this to measure. But of course, I can't possibly answer this question. What did you guys get though for this? If anybody did it, anybody do it? Somebody tell me now. Yeah, well, tell me where you get. Where you get for that when you measure that?
I got 40.
40?
Yeah.
All right, nice. So 40. Yeah, so because I didn't use this exact line and they didn't tell me how long it is, you know, it's not possible for me to actually do that. The diagram below shows an equilateral triangle FGH whose base is 13 centimeters and the height, all right, I'm seeing that there. The thing about an equilateral triangle, if you remember, and you know, you had to remember your properties of these things. Remember I said geometry is 40% of your paper, you know. That's almost half of your paper. Or in fact, maybe even more than 50% of your paper is geometry. Honestly, when you check it, we go check it just now and see, right? But these three sides are equal. So if this is 13, this is 13, and this is 13. But also the angles are equal. In an equilateral triangle, you always have 60-degree angles, no matter how long your sides are, right? So what do they want? They want calculate H. So I could see, an equilateral triangle, when you bisect it, you just have a 90-degree there. So we actually do have a 90-degree angle where you have a 60 degrees here and 90. This will be half of 13, which is 6.5, right? It's half of 13, 6.5, right? I hope so. And this will be H. So yeah, I could use trigonometry to find the value of H here. I could say, what is this? This is adjacent and opposite. So opposite hypotenuse, adjacent hypotenuse, so it'll be tan, opposite and adjacent. All right, so the tan of 60 will be opposite over adjacent. So H will be 6.5 times the tan of 60. So H will be 11.25 or 11.26. All right, centimeters. Yes, you do want to remember to put your units. Yeah. Anybody thought of a different way of doing this? I'm sure there must be another way. It's almost 7 o'clock, right? Ooh, look, we have a transformations question here. The diagram below shows three triangles, P, Q, and R. I can see that. Triangles Q and R are images. Q and R are images of triangle P. So this is the object here, and these are the images, right? After it undergoes a double transformation. So I could see here that this basically just slide up there. So that is a translation, right? It just slide up. And then I could see here, this is a reflection in this line. This is a reflection of this. So let me see if that have anything to do with it. Fully describe the single transformation that maps triangle P onto triangle R. Well, triangle P to triangle R, it is a translation T. And we could see if we look at this point and this point here, we could see that we had to move 1, 2 along the X, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So it's all positive directions. Yeah. So that could simply be a translation. T, which is equal to 2, 4, and that should actually be it. They want this for 1 mark and they want this for 1 mark, right? R onto triangle Q. So R onto triangle Q is a reflection, as we saw before, in this line, which is the line X is equal to 1, 0, 1, 2 from the graph there, right? So this is a reflection. That is your 1 mark in the line X is equal to 1. So 1 mark here, 1 mark here, that is your 2. Wow, that was it. Wow, look at some easy giveaways there. Consider the following functions. So we have f of x is this. So f of h of x is, what is that? 5 to the power of x. That's what I see in there. And so the f of 4. So the f of 4 would imply that that would be 2 minus 5 times 4. Right? That is equal to 2 minus 20. So therefore the f of 4 is negative 18. Let me know if I make any mistakes. We have the h of 0. So the h of x is 5 to the power of x. So the h of 0 will be 5 to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. F of h of negative 2. So let me just write over. The f of x is 2 minus 5x. So the f of x is 2 minus 5x. And then the h of x is 5 to the x. Wow. 5 to the x. So that means that, oh, but well, thankfully they have this -2 here, right? So we could find the h and -2 first, right? And then put it into the f. Right, so we find in this first, and whatever is the answer for this, we put it in the f function, right? So the h of -2 will be 5 to the power of -2, which is, if you remember your laws of indices, 1 over 5 squared, which is 1 over 25, right? And so this is h to the -2, not h to the h of -2, and so the f of the h of -2 is the f of 1 over 25, which is 2 minus 5 times 1 over 25, which is 2 minus 5 into 5, 1, 5 5s are 25, 1/5. 2 minus 1/5, is that right? Did I get that right? Am I making any mistakes there? 2 could be seen as 10 over 5 minus 1 over 5. Yeah? And so that'll give me 9 over 5. So the f of the h of -2 is 9 over 5. You can leave it as an improper. You don't have to change it to a mix. Find the f inverse of x. So the f of x is 2 minus 5x, was it? Yeah. Yep. So to find the inverse first, we let y equals 2 minus 5x, then make x the subject of the formula. So we could see here that minus 5x is going to be y minus 2. So x is y minus 2 all over -5. Then we swap x and y. So therefore, y is equal to x minus 2 all over -5, and therefore the f inverse of x will be x minus 2 all over -5. Given that f of x is this, determine the values of a and b. So if you take the fx is 2 minus 5x, the f of x, which is also known as f2x, that's another way to write it, is if I take this 2 minus 5x and put 2 minus 5x in here. That means that I'll have 2 minus 5 2s are 10, and then -5 times -5 is plus 25x. That means I'll end up with 2 minus 10 is -8 plus 25x. This is the fx, and that is equal or equivalent to a plus bx, where a is equal to -8 and b is equal to 25. Oh god, as soon as I gain momentum, it's a statistics, boy. Alright. I should cut that out of the video, right? The mass M in kilograms of 120 newborn, I hope it's not Port of Spain general, 120 newborns at the hospital is recorded in the table below. So this is the mass. We can see it's grouped data. Notice the less than or equal to sign here and that difference there, right? This is your frequency. State the modal class. The modal class is which one of the classes, these are the classes or the groups. So which one of these class intervals has the mode, which is the highest frequency, and that would be the 4.4 less than m less than or equal to 5.3. That is your modal class. It has the highest frequency. Complete the table below and calculate the estimate of the mean of the mass of the... Oh, by the way, guys, and oh man, I forget to do this, yo. We need to compile our cheat sheets, right? These papers here, you actually should be doing these papers with your cheat sheets, right? Don't try to do these papers without, you know, like under exam conditions yet. No, you don't want to do that yet. Do them with your cheat sheets, do them with your notes. That is what you want to be doing. But when you're doing it with your notes, you definitely want to time it or be able to do it as fast as, well, I wouldn't say so, you know, not as fast as possible, but so because if we check here, this is, let me see, when did we do statistics? Look, statistics here, and you can see I have all of the cheat sheets. So now you're supposed to take all of these cheat sheets and you're supposed to put it on one piece of paper, and that is one of the things we were supposed to do. But look, you have the statistics cheat sheet here. You can see that the mean for grouped data is the summation of fx all over the summation of f, and we have all, and I know it's very scrappy, but if you were with us for statistics, then you would understand it, right? So you could see here, once they start to ask about, midpoint and, this midpoint X and all of this kind of stuff, frequency, then, you might be looking at the summation of Fx all over the summation of F, and that is your mean for group data. So let's see. How did they find this? Let me test it first. Did they just take 3.5 and minus, or did they use boundaries? 3.5 minus 2.6. Oh no, the midpoint. Oh, it's midpoint. Okay, I was looking at that. All right, so it's not minus. So the midpoint of this. Did they use boundaries or did they just use that? 2.6 plus 3.5 divided by 2. Yeah, it looked like they just used that. All right, so I just take 2.6 plus 3.5 and then you divide it by 2, and that gives you your midpoint. Let me just try it for this one just to make sure. 3.5 plus 4.4 is equal to that, divided by 2 is 3.95. Yes, so for this one it'll be 5, and we should write it to get the marks. 5.3 plus 6.2 divided by 2. Write it right there. They're going to see it, right? 5.3 plus 6.2 divided by 2. That's 5.75. Let me do this one. 7.1 plus 8.0 divided by 2, 7.55. Anybody got anything different? Let me know if you get anything different, right? And of course, we just take the midpoint and multiply it by the frequency. So 5.75 times 29 will give us 166.75, and then this multiplied by that by 8, 7.55 times 8 is 60.4. Now you could expect that they will be wanting to ask you for the average, yeah? Watch and see. Oh yeah, they did. All right, calculate the mean mass of the newborns. So here is where you could put now mean, and you could just do that because that is the mean, right? And the mean will be the summation of fx, all of this over the summation of f. Now the summation of f, the summation of your frequencies, that's supposed to be your 120, right? And then the summation of all of this now, fx. So this is fx. So I have to add all of this. And I feel after this question, I'll take the role because I find one or two people bail out there. 21.35. Anybody want to do this add and tell me and save me the time? Or are they really going to make me do it? Yeah, are they really going to make me do it? Plus 71.1. Are they really going to make me do it, boy? Plus 145.5 plus 166. Zara, you really gonna make me do it? Plus 186.2 plus 60.4. Thank you all for really being such a great help. You know, 651.3. Yes, I got that as well. So 651.3. So we do that, 651.3. So that's what summation means, that you add up all of them. And of course, the summation of the frequency will always give you the total. So that divided by 120 newborns gives us an average of 5.4 kilograms. Does that seem right? Yeah, that seems about right. 5.4 is the mean. One newborn is chosen at random from the hospital. Find the probability that the newborn has a mass greater than that. Well, 5.3, greater than 5.3. So let me not make the same mistake again. If you look at this here, who greater than 5.3? 5.3 is less than or equal to 5.3. So you could be 5.3 and be here, because this is less than or equal to 5.3. So that means 5.3 is included here. And then from 5.3 is less than m, which is less than e. So that means that you could be 5.3 in this class, and they want all of the people who greater than 5.3. So that is this. I would say that's a high probability, right? So that'll be the addition of all of that. So that's 30 plus 29 plus 28 plus 8. So 30 plus 29 plus 28 plus 8, that is 95. So 95 out of the 120 babies, right? So what it was, so we'll put the 30 plus 29 plus 28 plus 8. All right, a mass greater. Oh no! Nobody corrected me. Not the 30. Not the 30. Because they didn't say equal to 5.3. They said greater than 5.3. So that means that no, you can't include the 5.3. So you see with this 30 here, I included the 5.3. All right, so no, you're not supposed to include the 5.3, so it'll just be this. This here is greater than 5.3. 29 plus 28 plus 8. Thank you, Isaiah. I really appreciate that, you know, bro. Yeah, because the class would go so much quicker if you guys could just do the maths, right? Instead of me taking the time to punch it out. Find the probability that the newborn, so therefore the probability of m being greater than 5.3 is 65 of those who are greater over the 120, which is 0.5, about 50-50. 0.54166. Complete the cumulative frequency table shown below. All right, so I gotta go up here and do that. So the cumulative frequency, if this is 7, then this will be 7 plus 18 is 25 here. That 25 plus the 30, put 55 here. 55 plus 29 gives me 84. Thank you. And then
112.
112, and then 120. Yes, the last one is always 120. So that is our cumulative frequency table. And do we have to do anything with it? Yes, we do. All right. I'll go back and forth there now. All right, so you know what? I'll just, so we had to draw a cumulative frequency curve. I'll just do this quickly. You can see how I'm doing it. 3.5, 4.4, 5.3. What? So I hear what? Somebody call out these numbers for me. All right, are you ready? If you have them, it's 3.5, 3.5, and what?
4.4,
And then,
5.3,
and then, 3.
6.2.
Oh, I see the pattern there. 7.1.
Yeah, and
Eight.
then 8.8, just 8.
8, yeah, 8.0, right? I see, I now see the pattern. All right, okay, so 3.5, 7, I see they plot the first point here. 4.4 to 25, I see they plot the second point there. 5 point, just if this is 4.4, and this is 4.1, 2, 3, 4, so it's 1. So it'll be 5.3, 1, 2, 3, 55, right? 6.2, 6.12 is 84. 7.1 going to 112. All right, so each one of these spaces is 2. You can see that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then 8 to 120. So 8 to 120 straight up like this. And of course you had a plot chipper, and now this you have, and I would not be able to draw it very carefully on this thing here, but you had to be real careful and try to draw this as smooth as you can, right? Try to draw it smoother than that. Use your diagram to estimate the median. So the median, and you'll let me know what you get, because yours might be a little smoother than mine. Now, because this is a graph, and people's graph will vary in smoothness, means that you don't have to get exactly the same answer. Your answer could be off by a couple of degrees, by a couple of decimals, and you'll still get through. A half median is middle, so a half of 120 is 60. So this is the middle point there, and I'll cut across at 60. Ooh, my graph seems to be cutting exactly at 5.5. So I will actually put, because it's a graph, I'm gonna put the approximately equal to sign 5.5 kilograms. Diagram below shows a hemispherical bowl. Why didn't they just say a bowl? I guess they wanted you to know that it's exactly half of a sphere, maybe. So that's why they say hemispherical, right? And a cylindrical tin. The diameter of the cylindrical tin is 12, I see in that. The height is 17, and the radius of the bowl is R. It's like the pirate movie that just came out. It was rated R. So the radius is R. All right, show that the volume of the cylindrical tin is that. Correct the 4 significant figures. All right, so the volume is just the area of the base multiplied by the height. So the volume will be the area of the base, which is pi r, which is 6. You're not using the 12, pi r squared. Right, the radius of this base is 6 centimeters here, right? Times the height, 17. So we're using pi as 22 over 7. 6 6s are 36, is it? No. Is it? No. Okay, yeah. Times 17. Anybody guess something for that? Times 22 over 7 is equal to that, times 17 is equal to that. What do you call a singing computer? Adele. Wait, check that out. But yes, I did get 1923, and I got 3 over 7, was it? which is equal to 1, 9, 2, 3 to 4 significant figures. The bowl is completely filled with soup. When all of the soup is poured into the empty cylindrical tin, 90% of the volume is filled. Calculate the row. Interesting. So they say here that the entire bowl is filled with soup. And when you pour the soup in the tin, it's filling up about 90% of the tin. So 90%. So therefore, that means that the volume of this sphere here is 90% of the tin. So if this is the volume of the tin, that means that 90% of this is 1730.7. And this was centimeter cube, right? So this is the volume of the bowl. So to find the radius, this is the volume of a sphere. So this is half of a sphere. So therefore the volume, so the bowl is half of a sphere. So therefore the volume of the sphere would be the 1730.7 times 2. So that would be times 2, 3461.4. This is the volume of the entire sphere, right? So first we had the bowl, and the bowl is hemispherical, so that means it's half of a sphere, and this is the volume of the bowl alone. Multiply it by 2 to find the volume of the full sphere. Why do I want to find the volume of the full sphere? Because I have the formula for the volume of a sphere. So therefore, 4 over 3 pi r cubed is this. So r cubed will be this divided by 4 over 3 pi. Right, and where's pi? They say 22 over 7. So that is... Whew, anybody want to do that for me? 4 over 3 times 22 over 7 is 4.19 on the bottom here. So 3461.4 divided by the answer is 826.015. And I'll just go a little bit off the page here. So therefore r cubed is 826.015. R will be the cube root of 826.015. Yes, you do have cube root on your calculator. It's right, the cube root of 826.015 is approximately 9.3. Approximately 9.38 centimeters. In the diagram below, L, M, and N are on the circumference of it's the semicircle with center O and the radius of 18. A radius of 18. So that means ON is 18. right? And that means this side, this is 18 as well. That means that this is 18. That means that we are dealing with isosceles triangles here. That means that this is the angle in a semicircle, so this is 90 degrees, right? And the base angles, this angle will be equal to this angle, and this angle will be equal to this angle. And chances are all of those angles going to be equal, right? Calculate the total area. Oh, my God. Calculate the total area. I guess we don't need all of this. All right. Yeah, 18, 18, 18. The total area of the shaded sections of the diagram. The area of the shaded. Will be the area of the full semicircle minus the area of the triangles. So the area of the semicircle will be pi r squared. That is the area of the full circle, and then you're dividing it by 2, and that'll give you the area of the semicircle. All right, and you're minusing that from the area of the triangles, which is a half base by height. You could go 18 plus 18. So this entire thing is 36. So you could go a half the base by the perpendicular height. So a half the base by perpendicular height. So that'll give me pi 22 over 7, they say to use, times 18 squared. Whatever the answer for this is, I'm dividing it by 2. And then I'm minusing a half the base, which is 36, times the perpendicular height, which is 18. Anybody want to help me with this? No? All right. 18 squared is multiplied by pi, 22 over 7. Oh, why am I getting that in fractions? Divided by 2, 509.142 minus 36 times 18 divided by 2 is 324. So the area of the shaded is 509.142 minus 324 is 185.142. Anybody got that or didn't get that? Sibira, you got that?
I got 185.2.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You don't worry about the decimals, guys. Don't worry about the decimals. They do allow for a certain what is called it, margin of error. Yes, they do allow for a certain margin of error that everybody will get different decimals depending on, when you do the calculation, a calculator, how much decimal places you round it off to. Once you get around 185, you'll be good to go. In the diagram below, what is the same question? Find the total area of the shaded sections of the diagram. Yeah, it's the same question. All right. Well, I guess we know how to do that. Great. Number 7. The diagram below, we have a sequences question here. Shows the first 3 shapes in the sequence, which forms a pattern. Each shape is made using a set of small white counters and black counters. I can see that. Complete the diagram below to represent shape 4. So I can see here, this is 3. This is the 3 here. And then they add on an x2. So the bottom, they add on an x2 on either side. So it'll give you 5. This is the 5 here, and then they add on a next 2 to the black at the bottom. So that means that the black at the bottom add on a next 2, and all of this will be black. And then the white, how much white will it have? How many rows of white? I could see I have 2 rows of white here. I have 3 rows of white here. I have 4 rows of white here. So I guess I'm going to have 5 rows of white here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, you could fill this in. I'll be a good teacher and fill it in. All right. I hope you do yours a little neater than mine, right? The number of white counters. You know, I don't even have to read this question because you could just look at the table and figure it out. But that is horrible advice from a teacher. So let's read the question. The number of white counters W, the number of black counters B. I'm seeing that here and here. The total number of counters T that form each shape follow a pattern. All right, the values for for the first three shapes are shown in the table. Why are you only hearing that music? All right, study the pattern of numbers in each row of the table and answer the questions that followed. All right. Yeah, so you obviously have to find the equation for n. Once you do this last section here first, you do that last section here first, and then you'll be able to fill in any blanks that you want, right? So so we could see here that, and this is not, I mean, look, that basically give you the answer here, because if this is n, right, you can see that this is n plus 1, n plus 1, n plus 1, and then this is 2n plus 1. So this here is n plus 1, and this is 2n plus 1. Right? And this one here, you have n plus 1 squared. So n plus 1 squared. And that's pretty much it. Right? Let's see, what do we have to fill in? This here will be 4 plus 1 squared, which is 5 squared, which is 25. And you could see that coming because all of these are square numbers, right? Even this. You could tell here that this is 12 squared. 12 squared is n plus 1, 11 plus 1. So therefore, n in this case is 11, right? And so if n is 11, then on this side, I will have 11 plus 1, which is 12, multiplied by 2 times 11, which is 22, plus 1, which is 23. So 12 plus 23 is 35. So 35, no, I put plus is multiply. 12 times 23 is 276. That make more sense. 276. Missing out any? Just this one here. This one is this formula. They gave you the formula. N is 4, so that'll be 3 times 4 squared plus 5 times 4 plus 2. 4 4s are 16. 16 times 3 is 48. So I have 48 plus 5 4s are 20 plus 2. So 48 plus 22 gives me 70 over here. The expression for the total number of counters, T, is W plus B. In shape S is given by AS squared plus BS plus, well, these are a lot of BS, but we can see here that this is a quadratic where A and B are both positive integers. So that is the total number of counters. So T is AS squared plus BS plus 2. And remember, S, the shape number, is really N. That is just really N. So by substituting the values of F for S, show that the total number of counters in shape 1 and shape 3 in terms of A and B is represented by those. What? So for shape 1, why? Shape 1 will be, remember, shape 1 is where N is 1. So S is 1, right? So that'll be A 1 squared plus B1 plus 2. Wait. Oh, and that is equal to T. So T, what is T? T is 10. There we go. I knew something was missing. So T is 10, right? So therefore, A plus B plus 2 is 10, and therefore A plus B will be equal to 8, right? So that is the first one. And for shape 3, and shape 3 will be A 3 squared plus B times 3 plus 2, and that is equal to T, which is 44. So 3 3s are 9. So 9A. How do you get 3A there? 9A plus 3B. Oh, I think I see what to do. Is equal to 44 minus 2 is 42. 42 divided by 3 is what? Yeah, and then you divide the whole thing by 3, and you will get 3A plus B is equal to 14. From number 8 things get hard. Nah, man. It have no such thing as a hard question, right? Remember, you see these cheat sheets here? And let me see the cheat sheet for coordinate geometry, because this looked like a coordinate geometry question. When did we do coordinate geometry? Algebra. Coordinate geometry here. I have the cheat sheet for it. Yeah, look it up here. This is everything that had to do with coordinate geometry. They can't ask you anything outside of this. This is so if you familiar with everything in here, then you're good to go. All right, let me see how hard this question is now. All right, the diagram below shows the graphs of two functions on the same pair of axes. So I see in one and I see in the other. I see in that the lines G and H are perpendicular. That tells me something. That tells me that if we call this M1, this gradient, and we call this gradient M2, because they are perpendicular, M1 times M2 will automatically be equal to -1. Right? The minute you see perpendicular in a coordinate geometry question or anything to do with equation of lines and ting, you know, the equation that represents the line G. So let me see. The line G is this, and I could see that this here is the point -6 on the X and 0 on the Y. This here is the point 0 on the X and 3 on the Y. I could see here that this is C. So the equation of the line G implies Y equals MX plus C. I could see that C is actually this 3. That is where it cut in. I could tell that this gradient is going to be negative because of how the line is sloped, right? So I just had to find that gradient. So the gradient M is what? Y2 minus Y1 all over X2 minus X1. And that is, let me use this as Y2. So Y2, which is 3, minus Y1, which is 0, all over X2, which is 0, minus x1, which is minus 6. All right. No, actually, no. Sorry, I was wrong. This slope here is a positive gradient. Yes. So that'll be 3 over 6, which is a half. Yeah, so we do have a positive gradient here. When it's sloping this way, it's positive. This other one, and I could already tell the gradient, because if this gradient is a half, then because they are perpendicular, in order to satisfy this, if this gradient is a half, the other gradient will have to be negative 2. Right? So you see I done work out that already. Just, just knowing your stuff, right? So this is a half x plus 3, where 3 is that 3 there, right? The equation that represents the line H. So for line H, implies y is equal to mx plus c. M is equal to negative 2y because h is perpendicular to g, right? So y is equal to negative 2x plus c. So we just had to find c. And we're not seeing any point where it cut. And we could expect that c is going to be very high, much higher. It might be like 7 or 8 or something, somewhere up there, right? So to find c, we just need one point. And look, we have a point here. We have a point. That point is 4 on the x, 0 on the y. So to find c, I just plot at, not plot, but at the point 4, 0. That means 0 on the y, negative 2 times 4 on the x, right? So 0 is equal to 4 2s are negative 8 plus c. So c will be, you throw the negative 8 across, it will be 8. So therefore, the equation of line H implies y is equal to negative 2x plus 8. Samaya, it was you who was saying you was getting problems from 8 going up. Was it you?
Yes, sir.
Right.
So like, questions not hard. I just guess tripping when I see lines.
Yes, guess Trevor when you see lines. Why, Dread? Nah, man. You can see how simple this. Did this genuinely give you problems? And it's okay if it did. It's okay if it did, right? But did it?
I feel like I didn't try hard enough. Like
Is
I
it?
just watched it and I was like, nah.
Oh,
So-
well, yeah, but mental fatigue is a thing because by the time you reach question 8, right, and that is a thing too, right? Mental just yeah, like mental fatigue, right? It is a decent strategy to do the harder questions first, like when the exam start, and maybe even when you're doing your past papers, try this. Try coordinates of point P. You all seen the screen, right? I know I came off the screen.
Yes, sir.
All right, there we go. We're trying to finish. Well, we're not gonna finish by 8, but we could definitely finish in good time. All right, we'll finish a little after 8. All right, so the coordinates of P show all working. The coordinates of the intersection, well, that is simultaneous equations, right? And I wish that they had given us an actual graph. Is there any other way we could work it? You could tell it's gonna be just above 3, and you could tell it's gonna be just below 4. And then we have y is equal to negative 2x plus 8. Was that it? Both of them is y, so I could just equate the two of them. Therefore, a half x plus 3 is equal to negative 2x plus 8. So what do I have? A half x plus 2x is equal to 8 minus 3. So that's 2.5. 2.5 is what? 2.5. 2 2s are 4 and 1 is 5, right? So that's 5 on 2x That's 2 plus a half is 2.5, which is 5 on 2x, is 5, right? So you throw your 2 across, 5x will be 5 times 2. So 5x is 10, and therefore x is 10 divided by 5, which is 2. Yeah, definitely we was expecting that, right? So when x is equal to 2, y is equal to negative 2 times 2 plus 8, which is negative 4 plus 8, which is positive 4. So therefore, the point P is x is 2, y is 4. And we could definitely see that. We could definitely see that, you know, the y would be about 40 and the x would definitely be about 2. Quadratic time, oh God, right? Oh God. And if we check here, this is the cheat sheet for quadratic equations. Basically, if you just know everything in this cheat sheet, you're good to go. I could tell that we're gonna need this, right? And I could tell we're gonna need this, how to sketch. And you could see that how to sketch it, I actually put it in the cheat sheet there. Well, to sketch, what do you need? You need your roots, right? You need your y-intercept, which is the point C, and you need your turning point, right, to sketch it, right? So pretty much those are the things that you need. And as I say, these first set of papers you should be doing with your, and I'll just actually bring this across. Yeah, I could do that. I could just copy it and bring it across here. You should be doing these papers with your cheat sheets. Yes, you should. It's only about a week before the exam is when you want to start to test yourself without any notes. But right now you are, you're testing yourself with notes because you don't want to test your memory yet. Right now you're testing understanding, right? So you are testing your understanding at the moment. Right, so I have my little cheat sheet there. Right? And that is one thing you could do too. This is something that I used to do, right? Because you know you cram your cheat sheet before the exam, right? And then once you see, hey, you're gonna need this, before you even do the question, come on the side or come in some scrap paper and write out everything you need. So you write out everything you need. Maybe you wouldn't draw the diagram, but you could write out everything you need so that you don't have to go through remembering it when you're doing the question, right? So, you know, you spend some time remembering it at the beginning and then so you write, all right, so this here in the form of that, right? So that means I had to find H and I had to find K. Look, I have my formulas there, B over 2A. And, well, we go see the next one just now. So H is equal to B over 2A, which is B is negative 24 all over 2 times 4, which is negative 24 all over 8, which is, so H is negative 3, and let me look for K. K is, let's see if I can remember this, 4AC minus B squared over 4A. All right. You had to remember it. I don't have to remember it. 4AC minus B squared all over 4A. I'll get that right. So that is 4 times A, which is 4, times C, which is 31, minus, notice the use of the brackets, B, which is negative 24 squared all over 4 times A, which is 4. My goodness. 4 times 31 is 496 minus 24 squared is 576 divided by 16. 496 minus 576. Negative 80 divided by 16 is negative 5. You guys get negative 5 as well? So therefore, write this in the form. So therefore, in the form would imply a, which is 4, into x plus h squared plus k. Ah, what? What? My goodness, my brain. All right. Any questions? So you can see here with this completing the square. Now I know they teach earlier your own way to do completing the square. You know, it have some schools that just teach pages of working to do completing the square. No, just know the formulas for h and k and you'll be able to answer anything. You see, all this required was knowing them formulas. That's all, right? And now with this, you could actually solve the quadratic and sketch it, because you could see that to sketch a quadratic, you need h and you need k, right? So this here will actually help you find your roots as well. So on the axes below, sketch the graph indicating the coordinates of the maximum point. Right, so let me find the maximum point using this. So for the turning point, oh no, not for the turning point, sorry, for the roots. Let me talk about the roots. The roots is the hard thing. That's where it cuts the x-axis, right? So you'll have 4 into x minus 3 squared minus 5 is equal to 0. All right, 4 into x minus 3 squared is equal to 5. X minus 3 squared is equal to 5 over 4. X minus 3 is equal to the square root of 5 over 4, which is the square root of 5 over 2. Right? And so x will be 3 plus or minus the square root of 5 over 2. These are your roots, right? So one root is 3 plus the square root of 5 over 2, and the other root is 3 minus the square root of 5 over 2. And yes, you could work it out. So we'll work it out and we'll see what it is. 1.118. So 3 plus, so I'll do here, roots. 3 plus 1.118 is 4.118. So let me go like here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go about here. 4.118, and then the next one is 3 minus 1.118, which is 1.882. So that's about 2. So let me say about there, 1.882. So, all right, so I have my roots here, 1.882 and 4.118. But I'm not going to draw it so close on the, you know, I'll wait to look a little, you know, I want my graph to look a little good. So I'll put the 1.882 about here, and I'll put the 4.118 about here. It doesn't have to be to scale because it's just a sketch, right? What do I need? Well, we could see that C here is actually 31, right? So all the way up here, we could have the 31. Now we need the turning point. So turning point is equal to minus HK, which is what is h? We got h to be negative 3. So minus h would be positive 3. And then k is negative 5. Yes, k is negative 5. So h would be 3, which would be about in the middle here. And then negative 5 here. All right. So actually, if we come so, yeah. All right, so this is 3 and negative 5. And we could put in negative 5 here. And so, yeah, we have the sketch of the quadratic. So to sketch a quadratic, you just need your turning point, you need your roots, and you need your C. And you could even put, if you want, I mean, and those are your 3 marks. There's just 3 marks for that. And of course, the line of symmetry here will be that x is equal to 3 at your turning point. If you want, you could even put that in. But they didn't ask for it, right? State the equation. Oh, look, they asked for it. The equation of the axis of symmetry is x is equal to 3. KLMN. I forget this thing being recorded. KLMN are points on the circumference of a circle O. XY is the tangent to the circle. Yeah. Okay, let me see all I feel like go ahead and help me with this one, you know. So find I not even gonna read the question. I'm just gonna watch this thing in awe, right? I see in here is 48, here is 12. All right, the angle XKN is 56, right? I see in this is a tangent, so immediately I could say this from this point here, the tangent with the radius is 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees immediately. I could see that. I could see that this is a radius and it'll be equal to this radius, which will make this an equilateral triangle, which means that this angle will be equal to this angle. All of those things are seen off the bat. Are seeing a cyclic quadrilateral here. Are seeing chords up and down the place, more chords than a guitar. Find the value of the angle KOL. KOL, that is this. Well, you know, if I found this angle here, because if this is 90 and this is 12 and this is 48, then this angle here will be 90 minus the 12 and the 48. 48 plus 12. So 48 plus 12 is 60, and 90 minus 60. Yes, I did do that. So this tiny little angle here is 30 degrees. So that means that this angle here will be the 30 plus the 12 is 42 degrees. And this angle is equal to this one. So this will be 42 degrees. And 42 and 42. So now I could find this by angles in a equilateral triangle. So I have 42 and 42 is 84, and 180 minus 84 is 96. Anybody else got 96 for this? Okay, that's all right, Samaya. I know you're always on top of your game anyway. Yeah, so I'll just call your name anyway, right? Anybody got 96 for this? Zara, did you give up at this point?
No, I get 96.
Did you do it a different way though?
I think so.
All
I
right.
had to multiply it by 2.
Okay. All right. Did you know why?
I
Because
multiply 48 by 2.
48 by 2. Why would you do? Oh, this 48 because, oh, yes, look at that. Yeah, but this is the, right. So this here, okay, I see that. I see that, right? What you did was the angle created by the tangent and a chord would be equal to the angle subtended by the chord, which means that this would be 48 degrees here. And so, and that is the, is twice that. Interesting. Very nice. Very nice. Give reasons for each step of your work. Yes, that is important. So KOL is equal to 96 degrees. And the reason being, and I'll use my reasons, and of course you could use yours. That's the thing about circle theory, is that you could work it out in many different ways. So my reason is that KOL is equilateral. You do equilateral. You do not have to write a paragraph. Try to think in maths. Let me see. OKY is 90 degrees, and this is angle between radius and tangent. Therefore, OKL will be the 42 degrees. Therefore, OLK is also 42 degrees, because equilateral base angles of equilateral are equal, and therefore KOL, which is what they asked for, is equal to 180 minus the 42 times 2, right? Which is 96 degrees, and you could put here angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. So I have a lot of steps there. Oh, and look, you have all your steps for your reasoning there. All right. And they just give 2 marks for that, eh? I think though that I was thinking too much. I think that Zara, your way might have been better. I think your way might have been better. I think my way was just too much thinking, because I go on and I solve all kind of thing to find that. But your way was much nicer. And if anybody wants me to explain Zara's way, let me know. Just going it over. Zara did the angle between this chord and the tangent is equal to the angle subtended by that chord. So the angle subtended by that chord, this would be 48 here. And then the second one would be, well, angles at the center subtended by the same chord would be twice the angle at the circumference, right? So that is definitely a easier way to do it, and there would probably be other ways to do it as well. Find the value of each of the following angles. Ooh, we have 4 of them there. LMN. So they want this one. Anybody want to give me a little hint? Anybody want to, help me out? It'll be a lot quicker. If I want to end this class early, we can end the class early. If I could help me out, all right, fine, I'll do it myself. All right.
So
Yes.
I do I had get 180 take away 56 plus 48 is equal to 76, but that is for NKL is there.
Right, right.
The
Yeah.
angles and
Very good. Very good. That is so what she did was she saw that this is a cyclic quadrilateral. And in a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles are supplementary. So this angle plus this angle is 180. This angle here is 180, right? Opposite angles are supplementary. So she found this angle here first, and I'll write it here. This is the angle LMN is what we're looking for. So she found the angle NKL to be, and what is this angle, this whole angle here?
76.
76.
Wait.
Yeah,
Wait,
and it,
188.
you're right. It would be 180 minus 56 plus 48, and
Yeah.
yeah, all right. And that is 180 minus 56 plus 48. Very good. So this entire angle is 76. And that means that this will be 180 minus 76.
104.
Right, nice. So the reasoning here is angles on a straight line.
Yeah, and then the cyclical quadrilateral. Cyclic quadrilateral.
Yeah, line equals 180 degrees, and then therefore LMN is 180 minus the 76, which is 104. And
Yes, sir.
that reasoning is opposite angles in cyclic quad. Yes, you can write cyclic quad are equal. All right. And if anybody need an explanation, you know, circle theory is one of those things. If you can't see it, please let me know, right? KLO. Well, I already found KLO. So KLO is 42 degrees. And that is because KLO is equal to OKL, which is that. And this is angles, base angles in equilateral are equal. Let's see. MLK. So I want MLK now. MLK. So that's this whole one there. This is what we got 104 for this, right? 104 degrees. 104 and 76. MLK. Anybody? Anybody want to help me out? Zara, what do you do for MLK?
MLK, I do 42 take away 12 and get 30.
42.
For MKL, and then for LMK, I had the
Oh, that's for
angles
MKL. So you found the 30.
Yeah.
Right.
and then angles between a tangent and a chord. I had 180 take away 48 plus 30 to get 180 take away 76, and I get 102.
For this. I still ain't following you here. Oh, so you find the 30, and so all right. So so the 30 plus the 48 is is this angle there, the angle between the tangent and this chord.
And then I take away that which was 78 and I get 102.
I don't understand why, because if this is 78 degrees, right? The angle between the tangent and the chord is equal to the angle subtended by the chord. So that is 78 degrees here. Oh, I see why. I see what you do here. Right. All right, I see it. Yes. So what she did was this chord here, the angle between the tangent and that chord is the 30 plus the 48, which is the 78. Right? An angle between, and this is a hard circle theory question, especially if they bring tangents. They bring here, in this question, they brought a tangent and a cyclic quadrilateral. So this is a tough question, right? So you have the 78 here, which is the angle between the tangent and this chord. Now, an angle between a tangent and a chord is equal to the angle subtended by that chord. So that is this angle here. So this angle will also be 78. And this angle is the opposite angle of this. So let's just see. So first we could say that the angle between tangent and chord KM is 78 degrees. Therefore, KNM, or MNK, if you want to say, will be 78 degrees. That is subtended by KM, right? That is equal to, you could put this equal sign here, equal to. And therefore, MLK will be 180 minus 78. And what you say you got?
102.
102, yes. And 102 degrees, and this is for the same opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral. Not equal. Look how I write equal here, nobody has seen nothing. No, they're not equal, they are supplementary. Supplementary. Please tell me that didn't stick. All right, good. All right, and the same thing here. Opposite angles in cyclic quad are supplementary. That means they add up to 180 degrees. And please do not leave until you get your name on the roll. If you do have to leave though, just send me a message. Or you could say, hey, you had to go. But we almost done. We almost done. Right? Oh, any more? KNM? Yeah, well, we already found KNM. Alright, so KNM is 78 degrees. And we have the reason in here as well. So you can just write that over for KNM. And that's the thing. It probably have, and they only give you 1 mark each. Yes, find the value of each of the following angles, 1 mark. So I guess they didn't really want the reasons for this. They just wanted the answer for these. I guess they didn't really want the reason, so I didn't have to write down the reason. All right, because they only give 1 mark, but 2 marks here for reason. All right. Oh gosh, here we go. Whew. Bearings now. E, F, G, and H are 4 points on level ground. The diagram below gives the information of the distances between the points. Thank you very much. Show that the value of x is 29.5. Correct to 1 decimal, please. I could see here that this is a triangle with 3 sides. And let me just draw over the triangle. Zap, zap, and zap. And this is 5.3. This is 6.9. This is 11. And this is x. Let's call this side A. That means this will be the angle A. Let's call this side, actually, you know what? No. Let's call this side A. And that'll make X the angle A. All right, and we'll call this side B. So that'll mean this will be the angle B. And we'll call this side C. That'll make this the angle C. And we can see here that this is a straight up cosine rule question. So A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos of A. And remember, this angle A is the angle we want to find. So we want to find that. So we had to plug in everything else. A squared is 6.9 squared is equal to 5.3 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 into 5.3 times 11 multiplied by the cos of x. 47.61, 28.09 plus 121 minus 5.3 times 11 times 2 is 1166 cos x. So this here is 121 plus 28.09 is, so 47.61 is equal to 149.09 minus 1166 cos of x. So I throw this across. 47.61 minus 149.09 is equal to negative 1166 cos of x. So this side works out to be 47.61 minus 149.09 is negative 101.48, and that is equal to negative 1166 cos of x. So therefore we could see here that the cos of x is negative 101.48 divided by negative 1166. X is equal to the cos inverse of 0.087. So the cos inverse of the answer, 85 degrees. Anybody? I think I do something wrong because this 85 is almost 90. That's not looking 90 at all.
So
Yeah.
I think the part that says 2 by 5.3 by 11 is supposed to be 116.6.
Oh, this here. Let me see. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
2 times 5.3 times 11. And you could see, yes, it is 116.6. Oh my gosh. So that means all of the maths correct up to here.
Yeah.
Right, up to here. So I just need that point there. So this answer there, yes. And that is the thing. You notice how you get 85, but it's not quite looking like 85 because 85 is close to 90, right? So remember, the answers that you get supposed to make sense. Don't just take the 85 and say, okay, that's the answer. No, you know, you could definitely see, and that's a little visual mistake I make there, because, you know, I did the multiplication, it did have it, I just didn't see the point, right? So what did this work out to be?
I'll get 0. Wait, sorry.
No, you say it.
Well, I get 0.87.
0.87, yeah.
Yeah.
So you see that even you know, in terms of checking over your answer, you look at your answer and see if it makes sense, right? Because this certainly does not look like it's close to 90 degrees, right? So the cos inverse The answer is 29.5. That's it?
Yeah.
All right. All right. What else? The vertical tower is constructed at the point G and is pivoted to the ground to all of those points using pieces of wire. The angle of elevation of the top of F. So that means a vertical tower is constructed here at the point G. And then it tied to the point F, and they're saying that this angle is 31 degrees. So what I have here is I have a triangle where this is G, this is F, this line from G to F that going along the ground here is 6.9. This is the tower from G, and this here, and this would be T on the top, and this here would be a 31. This is your angle of elevation from the point F, right? So you can see here, the angle of elevation to the top of the tower T from the point F is 31 degrees. What is the length of the wire used? All right, so they want to find, and let me just bring this down here. They want to find the hypotenuse of this triangle, essentially. So they want to find the hypotenuse of the triangle. So that is this here. So what are we going to use? This is adjacent and hypotenuse. So that's cos, right? So the cos of 31 is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 6.9 over h. Am I right or am I wrong? So h times the cos of 31 is 6.9, and h will be 6.9 divided by the cos of 31. So 6.9 divided by the cos of 31 is about 8. You all got that? I got 8.04. The bearing of E from H is 228. Look at the English. The bearing of E from H. So you're moving from H to E. And I had to erase all of this stuff now. All right. So I'll go in from H to E. So that is this line here. And that bearing, that means this entire angle from the north line comes straight across to here is 228 degrees. What did we get X to be again? 29.5 or about 30 degrees. Find the bearing of H from E. H from E is this angle here. So if you're going back in this direction from E to H, the bearing is always measured from north. So in this direction, this is a clockwise direction from north. So it's this angle we're looking for here. If this is 228, then this will be 360 minus 228, which is 132. So this is 132 degrees. And these two north lines are parallel, which means that they are co-interior. And co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees. So 180 minus 132, 48. And it does look 48-ish. So you can always tell, especially in questions like these, when your answer's making sense, right? G from H. So you're going to G from H. So that will be this angle here, which is 228 minus 54. So 228 minus 54 is 174. So 174 degrees for this one. Vectors now, and we actually did the matrices question already. I will actually have to stay for the purpose of the video. I'll have to stay and explain over the matrices question. So if you want to stay, you could stay for that. I already have it here. We already did it. Oh, I guess. Oh no, look, we did the simultaneous equations here. So for the purpose of the video, I'll have to stay and do this. But this is officially the last one for the night. You could write out after this if you want, right? In the diagram below, O is the, and I really wish that you all get a vectors and matrices question. You notice where the part A is your vectors and the part B is your matrices. I'm really hoping that you all get that, because that means that both your vectors and your matrices, they'll get to the point and they'll ask you where you had to ask you, you know, because sometimes the entire question number 10 might be vectors, and then you might have a whole number 11 that is matrices, or you might have a whole number 9 that is vectors and a whole number 10 that is matrices. And whenever you get like that, man, there is ask you detailed stuff, but this shouldn't be too detailed. So in the diagram below, O is the origin, so we're dealing with position vectors here, and OE is 2. So OE is 2EF. So whatever distance this is, OE is twice that. So we're talking about OF being cut into 3 pieces, of which OE is 2/3 of OF. Right? You can see that there. And M is the midpoint of EG. All right, I'm seeing that. OG is small c, and OF is small d. And notice the direction, right? In terms of C and D, in the simplest form, find FG. FG. So we see here that FG could just be, if you want to drive from F to G, you'll have to drive from F to O and then go from O to G. And we can see F to O is going in the opposite direction, so that'll be minus D and then plus C. So FG is minus D plus C, or you could even write it as C minus D. EG. So to drive from E to G, I could drive E to F and F to G. E to F here would be 1/3 of D, and F to G would be C minus D. So E to G, if you're driving, I could go from E to F, right? And if you go in the other direction, this would be negative 2/3 D plus C. If you want to go this, if you want to drive this way, E to O plus O to G, that this direction would be negative 2/3 D, right? Plus C. So that is another way you could do it. Or you could do it this way, 1/3 D plus C minus D, and you'll end up, and you'll see you'll get the same thing. So let me do it my way, and you'll see you'll get the same thing. E to F and plus F to G. E to F is 1/3 D plus F to G is C minus D. And you can see that we have a third minus 1, which is minus 2/3 D plus C, which is the same thing you would get if you drive this direction instead. Right. OM. OM is this one. if I want to drive from O to M, I could drive OE, so I'll write it here. OM is OE plus EM. Remember, OE will be 2, because you're going in this direction. So it'll be 2/3, positive 2/3 D, plus EM is a half of EG. So that is 2/3 D plus a half of EG, which I think we already figured out. A half of C minus 2/3 D. Interesting. C minus 2/3 D. And they say in the simplest form, so we have to simplify that. Oh my goodness. So that gives us 2/3 D plus a half C minus 2 on 6 D. Yeah, because a half times 2/3 is 2 on 6. And so I could do equivalent fractions here. I could say, well, this is 4/6. So 4 on 6. No, this is, I could just do 1/3 here. Yeah, so this is 2 on 3 D plus a half C minus 1 on 3 D. So 2 on 3 minus 1 on 3 is 1 on 3. So you have a half C minus a third. Pretty okay, pretty simple. Anybody have any questions on this though? And again, no questions, so I'm hoping everybody understand, right? Don't study the recording, you know. If you ask a question, I will cut you out of the recording, so it's fine. So the matrices P, Q, and R are given below. P, Q, and R, right? And we could see here that P is this, Q is this, and R is this. I see that I have a B here, and a C here. Given that P plus Q is equal to R, all right, find values of A, B, and C. So interesting. So they say how this plus this. And you can see that I did it here. This is the P, and then this is plus, and this is the Q over here. All right? And that is equal to this R over here. And it all depends on how you know how to add your matrices, your 2x2 matrices especially. So to add 2x2 matrices, you add the corresponding elements. So if P plus Q is equal to R, then that means that this element plus this element will give you that element for C. So you can see here that the 3 plus the -1 will give you the element for C. And so from here, you could find C to be 2. Nice and easy, right? The element for A, you could see that this element here plus the corresponding element here will give you the corresponding element here. So that means that the A plus the -4 will give you the -4. And of course, we get A to be 0. And similarly, to find B, that means that this element, -9 plus B, is what will give us the corresponding element, -3. And so we could see here that B ends up being 6. Quite easy, right? To solve for simultaneous equations, and I see I have at least 2 people here still, so I guess all you really don't have nothing to do, Dread. You have no homework or nothing. We do this already, you know. We actually did this already. All right, solve the following pair of simultaneous equations using the matrix method. So we could see here, up on this side, and you know what? I'll actually do it here real quick. The matrix method, you want it in the form AX is equal to B. So you see we'll have the matrix 5, 2, the X's are already there, the Y's are already in line, negative 2, 3, and that is multiplying by XY, and that will give you your B, 44, 10. Yeah, so you just make sure your X's are lined up though, and your Y's are lined up. So you could just take those numbers. So this is your AX is equal to B. And you can see we have here the question already worked out because we already did it. The AX is equal to B. And then, you know, we will need to find A inverse, because remember, if AX is equal to B, then X, which is what we want to find, is A inverse times B. So we need to find A inverse, which is 1 all over the determinant. 5 times 3 is 15, minus this 2 times 2 is negative 4. So we see the determinant being 1 over 19. The determinant multiplied by the adjoint being you flip these two, the 5 and the 3, and then you negate these two. So this will become 2 and this is negative 2. So we have the determinant multiplied by the adjoint, and this is the A inverse. You see, I'm not multiplying out the determinant, I'm leaving the determinant on the outside. So now I have A inverse multiplied by B. And I'll actually do the matrix multiplication first. So that means that I'll have this row multiplied by this column. So 3 times 44 plus, which is 132, plus the 2 times 10, which is 20. And then I'll take this row and multiply by the same column. So negative 2 times 44 is negative 88, plus the 5 times the 10, which is 50. All right. And so now when you add this up, you get this. And now you can see we have the determinant on the outside, 1 over 19 times a very easy matrix. And thankfully, those two numbers are divisible by 19. So you can see your XY matrix now ends up being 8, negative 2. And so therefore X is 8, Y is negative 2. It's really not that bad when it comes to simultaneous equations and matrices, right? And I know I just breezed through that one, so I hope you all understand. That was the January 2024 paper. And tune in next time on the same channel and for the next one. All right, guys, let me stop the recording.